that has a population of 40,000 people. We have 20,000 cars, and we have 5,000 parking places, which means we are incredibly creative when it comes to parking. And then there is this other word, which is the word grad, G-R-A-D. Grad means town or the town. And when we talk about the old town of Dubrovnik, we use the word grad. Everyone knows it. So for example, if I told my friend, let's meet in the town, she knows where she needs to be. If I told my mother that I was in the town, she would be able to find me within 2 minutes, because that is how small the town is. Plus my mom is like the original FBI, she knows everything. But I like to compare the old town of Dubrovnik to Cheers. It's a place where everybody knows your name. You either get used to it or you move out. Now, since this is your first visit to Croatia, or at least your first port in Croatia during this cruise, let me tell you that we are a teeny tiny country in heart of Europe. The size of the country would be comparable to West Virginia in the US. Only 3.8 million of us living here, meaning that yes, we do all know each other, and our capital is Zagreb. In the term Dubrovnik, everyone used the term Laos, which is an old word for islet, and that is where Dubrovnik actually was established. And then from that old word, Greek word for stone or cliff, that is how we got the word for the town that was later on Ragusa. You might see the term everywhere. Ragusa was the old term for Dubrovnik. A little bit of a traffic jam. I mean, for us, this is already traffic jam. We are not very patient when it comes to traffic. The best thing that we do when we see a queue, we lean onto the honk and we start honking the entire time, thinking that something will change if we do that. Rarely ever that happens. Usually families here in Dubrovnik own 2 cars. One is a bigger family car, and the other one is the smallest thing that you can find on the market, smart cars. Those Mercedes ones, I don't know if you're familiar with those. Yep. And that is then the car that the family uses when they need to run a quick errand. But there is a mean of transportation that is way more popular than a car, and that would be a scooter, a little motorbike, because those are easy to maneuver between cars, and those are fairly easy to leave wherever to park them. There is one thing though that the locals would never ever use, and that is the bicycle. If you see people around here cycling, it's definitely not a local, because our city is located on many hills, and it would be in theory easy to go one way, but still you would have to go back uphill, and no one likes that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching the old town of Dubrovnik. It will take us a few more minutes, but let me tell you what will happen next. So, our bus is going to stop at the so-called Pile Gate, P-I-L-E. You can pronounce it Pile, I don't care. As long as you know that that is the place where all the tour buses come in, and those buses, all the tour buses leave from the so-called Pile Gate. Pile from the Greek word. Pile Gate is the place where our bus will stop. Mr. Mato will drop us off over there, and Mr. Mato will pick us up from that same spot. Now listen to me carefully. This is the only piece of information that I want you to remember right now. Our meeting time will be 4:15, 4:15, in case you want to return with our bus back into port. The last shuttle is 4:30, so what, you could gain 15 more minutes. I don't know if that will be of big importance to you. So the same place where the bus drops us off will be our meeting place, our meeting time, 4:15. Now, when we reach the old town of Dubrovnik, I will definitely not be offended if at one point you realize that you're too warm. It is too hot out there, it's too sunny, you don't feel like walking anymore. That is totally okay. You don't even have to tell me, Petra, we are leaving. You can sit down, you can have a cup of coffee, you can do whatever you want to. Bear in mind that at 4:15, when we are meeting, I won't be counting how many people there are on the bus. If you're there, I'll be happy. If you're not there, I'll simply come to conclusion that you already left the old town of Dubrovnik. Hopefully it will not be as crowded as it was earlier today. Earlier it was chaotic. It was pretty hard to move throughout the city, and usually when we are in the old town, what I would tell you when we encounter crowds, a few years ago I would have told you to start coughing. We would all start coughing, everyone would start running away from us. Doesn't work anymore. People have forgotten 2020. So what we do today is I will want you to put your hands around your waist and your elbows out, and we are going to walk the streets of Dubrovnik as if we were all supermodels. Okay? It's called elbow mentality. You can't survive a day without it in this city, and it's actually incredibly fun. So, I mean, we are supermodels on the runway. Am I making sense so far?
Yes.
Great. Are there any questions from your side?
Is the shuttle going to be in the same place as where?
Once we get off the bus, I'm going to show you exactly where the shuttle bus will be waiting for you.
So not the same place as this bus?
Almost the same place, but not the exact same place. So now you can slowly start seeing the old town towards our right hand side. Ajde, pape, na tamo gdje nije zebra. Dobro je, ajde. Ne mogu više na domatu, meni imam i osjećaj kao da je 9. mjesec. Now, don't forget to take all of your belongings with you, because now you might be thinking if you're coming back with this bus and with me, and you might change your mind later on. So it would be better if you have your bags, hats, coats, umbrellas, whatever you have on you, take it with you. And now, slowly but definitely, the gorgeous old town, surrounded by these amazing 1.2 miles long city walls that were started to be built in the 1200s, the way we know them today already. And from here you will get to see the northern portion of the walls and the highest fortress of them all, reaching 25 meters. That is the fortress Mincheta. And you might notice that these portions are round. That is 1800s. With the introduction of gunpowder to the area and cannons, they were afraid. They pulled parts of the walls down. They used that remaining stone for build. What is the weakest part of the building? The corner. So if a cannonball hits the corner of a square-shaped building, it will collapse immediately. But if it hits the rounded one, there will be a hole, there will be damage, but it won't be completely destroyed. In front of us, you might notice some cables as we are turning. Those cables are to our left hand side. That is the cable car station taking you up to Search Hill. Četiri kvart pile. approaching the old town, I need to tell you that today you'll have to be using a lot of your imagination. Of course, this road was non-existent until the early 1900s when it was built by the French, because Croatia at that time was not the French, the Austrians, because Croatia at that time was part of which obviously connected the city to the mainland. Today it might be hard to imagine, but back then there was no other houses outside of the old town. So when a potential enemy, and there were many, were looking at these sort of walls, they're not only is the city protected, but a potential enemy is also intimidated, and that was the point of these